It's Levack.
Every time I've ever told someone to clean their room, all they do is complain, and I'm not going to have it.
And Goz.
Can we rename TLC, by the way?
To what?
The Freak Show channel. You got people eating couches, people with 9 arms, and the little people, right? Isn't that like that's it? That's everybody on there.
Your home for New York sports. 104.5 The Team presents Levack and Goz.
Well, we're back. What a weekend, man. Goz, you were like Mr. Family Man this weekend, correct?
I was in St. Johnsburg, Vermont. Milling lumber and trees.
Yeah, I saw you like doing real work.
Planting gardens. Shout out to my soon-to-be brother-in-law, Jake, and his family. Spending some time with the family out there. And
so wait, they've already got you like doing gardens and taking down trees and stuff for her family?
It's unbelievable. I enjoyed my time,
You're not
though.
married in yet, right? You're not obligated to do that.
Felt like I was, but I had a good time. I've known Jake since he was a kid, so we had fun with the kids.
Very cool. That's cool, man. I saw Infinity War. I saw the Avengers.
Ooh.
I want to call it Infinity Gauntlet, but I think it's Infinity War. I don't know. The Infinity one. No spoilers. Go see it. Even if you don't like those kind of movies, go see it. It's cool, man. And there's a reason why it now has the biggest movie weekend in the history of movies, the biggest Saturday in the history of movies. I went to a 10 a.m. showing. 10 a.m. Sold out.
Sold out?
Sold out.
You gotta be kidding me.
My daughter and I got there about 30, 40 minutes early. And when we walked into the theater at 9:15, 9:20, 25, somewhere in that range, there was already like 50 people in the theater.
Wow.
So, and like I like going when no one's there. That's why I go to the 10 a.m. I figure, you know what? I'll get up early. We'll go do this, and we'll do whatever we got to do the rest of the day. Already packed. Already packed. And there's no signs of this slowing down. There's no signs that people are going to stop going to this thing, man, because it's that big. It's that big. It's that cool. They make you care for every character. There is never a second where you're like, okay, this individual's safe, that one's in trouble, because they all are in trouble the entire time. Everyone. So yeah. So if you want to nerd out, go. Trust me.
I got to see that. I got stuck doing more family thing. I got stuck seeing I Feel Pretty with Amy Schumer instead.
Oh! As far as bad guys go, I'd rather have Thanos. You know what? The thing is, I've seen previews for that, but was it good? Because I used to love her.
There were some laugh out loud moments in that film, like, not like ha-ha, no, like really like falling over laughing. It was an okay movie. It had a nice premise to the movie.
Yeah, great.
We're all beautiful.
I liked her better like when she was evil. Remember when she broke onto the scene? It was one of the roasts. I don't even remember who the roast was for.
Might have been Charlie Sheen.
Was it Sheen? It might have been Sheen. And I know she took a shot at Patrice Mitchell, the other comedian. And then the guy passed away like weeks after the thing aired, and everybody like went crazy on her. Like she knew that she picked on him for being a diabetic. He was going to die. It was like she just had everybody was killing everybody. I mean, the amount of jokes about her sexuality on that show. Woo! So I liked her better back then when she was evil. Also, apparently there was an NFL draft this weekend. I gotta tell you, I thought the New York teams did splendid. I'm reading the grades, and some people love them, some people hate them. I look at that New York Giants draft, and originally I had questions. I have no questions now. David Gettleman has built a version of the modern New York Giants that will run the football. You get Saquon Barkley with your first pick. You pick up Will Hernandez from UTEP, the guard, with your second pick. And then you've already added Nate Solder and Omame, or whatever the hell his name is, the big guy from Jacksonville. This is a revamped offensive line. This is a running back who can be featured. I think this is going to be a lot like offensively like what New Orleans did last year.
That's a big compliment. New Orleans had a great year because of the rookies.
Blueprint.
Yes.
But you can see what I'm saying though. Like all right, we believe in our veteran quarterback, but we're going to take some of the stress off his shoulders. We're going to give you the kind of running game that you've always wanted. And realistically, like if Mark Ingram and Alvin Kamara had a baby, it'd probably be Saquon Barkley. You know what I mean? Listen, I don't need a biologist to call up and tell me that can't happen. I was saying you got the muscles and the downhill running ability of a Mark Ingram, but you also have that freak athleticness of an Alvin Kamara. Now, obviously, this is only at the college level. We haven't seen it at the pros yet. But on paper, Saquon Barkley could do both jobs, and you add in a Gallman or Perkins or whoever else, and you could have a legitimate running game.
This draft screams out year one of a GM, and that's not a bad thing. Because when people hear that, they hear year one of a GM, oh, that means that he doesn't know what he's doing or these aren't the right players. No. What Dave Gettleman did is he's hoping every single one of these guys he drafted is going to be not just a player on the New York Giants for the future, but an impact player, a starter for the future of this team. Now, when you go through those offensive linemen you talked about that they drafted, and Giants fans don't need it explained, they know the offensive line's not been very good the past year, maybe even longer than that. They brought in young talent that they hope will develop into starting offensive linemen. But here's the big thing that's in 2018 that fans of the draft forget, but football fans remember really quick. Remember, they are still rookie offensive linemen. They might be good in 2 years. They might be good in 4 years. They might be good next season. But when you go into actually evaluating the season and you hear, you got a rookie wide receiver, got a rookie quarterback, got a rookie offensive lineman. I'm just saying that about any teams. Right. There's reasons to be concerned because there's just an adjustment period, like freshmen in college, like freshmen in high school. You got talent, sure. But whether it's physically, whether it's learning the offense, whether it's learning the defense, there are going to be sometimes these guys get flat out beat and they're going to look bad. But you hope that Dave Gettleman has some faith in these guys he drafted and said, roll with me on this. These guys are going to get 3 to 4 years in this organization, and they're going to be really good because we believe they're going to be really good.
Well, you can see, like, if you didn't already know, the guy who's going out there talking about hog mollies and whatever else, that he believes that the NFL is still based on the run. You look at this draft, and this is clearly a man who believes that it's based on the run. He brings in the top player on most people's draft boards, who happens to be a running back, one of the top-ranked offensive linemen, and then he brings in a bunch of dudes that can stop the run. Outside linebacker from Georgia, Lorenzo Carter, B.J. Hill, the defensive tackle from North Carolina State. He also gets R.J. McIntosh, the defensive tackle from Miami. So championship teams are built trenches out. I know we're talking about winning right now and everything like that, but this dude just rebuilt your trenches. So if he did it right, and again, we can only grade on what we see and what we believe at this point. I like what he did. I like it. It says, look, Eli, we believe in you. I wouldn't be shocked if it comes out in the next couple days that Eli's contract's extended like 1 year just to make the money nicer and easier. And if that be the case, then maybe, just maybe, OBJ gets a deal before he goes on the field this year. But I like this draft, and I left the name out, guys.
You did leave a name out. I was kind of surprised you left that name out. The guy you liked a lot, you thought he'd be a first-round pick. You liked him so much.
Ended up going to the 4th round. Richmond's quarterback, Kyle Laletta. Here's Gettleman on the QB.
He was just too good a value to pass up there. He's got all the stuff. He's tough. He's not a shy in that pocket. He's got pocket presence, patience, and feel, which, again, those are instinctive things you can't teach. He throws a really nice ball. He's accurate. He has a sense of anticipation and timing.
That sounds like at worst, a really good backup quarterback.
Now it gets interesting, doesn't it? Because there's another guy who we thought going into the draft, if the Giants were to pass on a QB at the 2nd overall pick, which they did, what would the future be of Davis Webb? And now we wait. When we go to training camp, likely in August, that is going to be a training camp battle. Who will be the backup quarterback for the New York Giants? Davis Webb or Kyle Laletta? And do either of those guys really, truly have a future as the starting quarterback of the New York Giants?
And for Gettleman, now this is something that I'm glad you brought this up because I thought, politically speaking, as a general manager, this was a really smart move. Just the way he dresses at the beginning.
He was just too good a value to pass up there. He's
too good of a value to pass up there. Davis Webb, his biggest supporter's last name is Mara. Chris Mara, who's that It's not a coincidence what that last name is. He has ownership. He's one of the scouts. He's the one who wanted Webb. He believes in Webb. So I brought in this guy, great value at 4. I never would have done it otherwise. He brings in a guy who could potentially unseat Davis Webb, who is one of the owner's favorite potential quarterbacks. And he does it in such a way that everybody's like, well, you couldn't not do it. You had to get that guy. And like you said, guys, if he goes out there and he is what Gettleman says he is, he takes the 2 spot away from Webb, all of a sudden, is he a Tony Romo type? Is he a Garoppolo type? Is he a Carson Wentz where, sure, I didn't pay attention to that school very much because I watch a lot of D1 college football, but you're probably looking at him at some point going, he's just too sound not to give the opportunity.
We're not letting the Cowboys have him as Dak Prescott's backup. We're not letting the Washington Redskins try to figure out what they want to do with Alex Smith and somebody else. We don't want him anywhere close to our team, so we want him on the team. Okay, we're not going to be the ones who look back 5 drafts from now and say, look at all these teams that passed on this kid from Richmond. He ended up being a pretty good player for us. That's what it is.
No, I mean, with a Flacco out there, with a Wentz out there, the stigma of not being a D1 school is not as big as it once was. And look at, if you won the UAlbany games, you've seen this kid play. Again, got to make a big jump in competition, but he can sling it. He can absolutely sling it.
He talks about value, too good of value. Not a lot of people care about this stuff, like the diehard football fans, but coaches really do when it comes to who makes our players better in practice. There are guys who are great scout team quarterbacks who go out there and put on the other person's number and run the scout team and give them what they call a look. Kyle Lauletta will probably pride himself on being a scout team quarterback for a while because he's going to get the attention of the coaches and things like that. We'll find out if Davis Webb or him is the backup. We probably will never even know because Eli Manning hadn't missed a game for over a decade before he got benched last season. So maybe these guys will be a moot point at the end, but Lauletta's good. I mean, we were talking about him potentially being a New England Patriot at one point, or somebody else in that rotation that maybe he would be a backup in the league, and he's going to get an opportunity to do that and compete for the New York Giants this season.
It's not. I mean, obviously it's a long shot, but it's not unheard of that this guy ends up being the steal of the draft. A year or two from now, if he's under center and this offense works, Gettleman's a genius. Because look, let's be honest, with everything he picked, quarterback's biggest job, successfully hand the ball to Saquon Barkley. Do not fumble in the backfield. Don't trip him. Get him the ball. Let the hog mollies or whatever the hell you want to call him, that line, open up holes and let the kid get out there and do his work.
4th, 5th, 6th, 7th round quarterbacks and players, that's kind of like the no man's land of, are you going to make a roster? Are you not going to make a roster? I don't think they intentionally drafted him to be a starter. They didn't. Eli Manning's there.
It's a lottery ticket.
But what you're saying is this. If it does work out, Dave Gettleman, just by Lauletta looking good, might extend his contract for a second contract. What a gem he found in the 4th round. Patriot fans don't like this answer, but it's the truth of it. Let's all remember. Tom Brady was not drafted by the Patriots to be a starter. Okay? They looked really smart when Drew Bledsoe went down, but let's not act like there's a 6th round quarterback. They said, that's our guy, 6th round. He's the one. He's the
He was a 6th round value.
Right. He was 6th round value.
He couldn't even win the starting job in Michigan. It was him and Drew Henson battling it out every game. To your point, though, the one thing Belichick did with him is similar to what Garrett did with Dak Prescott 2 years ago. Didn't give him too much. Run the rock. Don't ask him to do too much. Short, concise passes. High percentage passes. That's the way to bring a quarterback around. And if they, who knows? Like I said, Lauletta's a long way off. Eli, Saquon Barkley, Odell Beckham Jr., Sterling Shepard, Evan Ingram. The list goes on. Who do you double team when you play defense against the Giants? If that offensive line is renovated and plays well, points won't be the issue for the Giants. Can they stop people? We'll have that conversation when we get closer to the draft.